Ahoy, folks! Tris here with something a little bit different, especially since we just hit 4,000 subscribers for the channel. And to celebrate, I wanted to make a video that's a little more personal. 2025 is a special year to me, especially in terms of making videos here on YouTube, because as of May 4th, I've been making videos for 10 years. It's been a wild ride, across various different channels and a large variety of content. Now, you may be saying, but Tris, you've only been making content here on your channel since last summer. And you'd be right, but I've actually been making content at various places on YouTube over the past 10 years. And in this little video, I'd like to look back at it all and just kind of reflect on my journey. I've got a bunch of notes here, but this isn't going to be like a heavily scripted video or anything like that. So let's get back to where it all started. On May 4th, 2015, I uploaded my first ever YouTube video, and that was over on my Let's Play channel, WiiHii. And the very first video was Mario Party 10. No!
No, Mario's winning!
We've come a long way since then. WiiHii was started with my now husband and one of my best friends. And initially, this was meant as a way for us to still get together and hang out, even when we all went off to college. This made sure that we could record more videos and play fun games together whenever we actually got together. And it's good incentive for us to get together. We were overall inspired by other channels, like the Runaway Guys, for example. And the fact that Let's Plays were all over YouTube in the mid-2010s. Kinda just felt like a fun time to jump in and do it ourselves, I guess. And we kept WiiHii up for quite a while, but in 2016, about a year later, it started to pick up a little more for us. I played my first ever Kirby game on the channel, Kirby 64, The Crystal Shards. And I loved that game. I really wanted a lot more Kirby after that. I don't know how I had never really played Kirby before then, but that was a really special experience to me, getting to play my first one recorded, and I wanted more. And not too long after that, Kirby Planet Robobot for the 3DS was announced. So the three of us had the idea of, let's play that on the channel. It'd be really cool to play a brand new Kirby game as a Let's Play right when it comes out. Obviously, the hard part about that is 3DS capture devices. So the three of us split the cost of a new 3DS XL and a capture device installation. I literally still have said 3DS right here, actually. Little did I know, having access to a capture 3DS was uncommon, to say the least, even in the content creation space. And this led to me helping others out, thanks to the games and the equipment that I had, such as my initial meeting with the Source Gaming team, needing Kirby Planet Robobot footage, and GameXplain, who I helped with Hyrule Warriors Legends footage. Throughout my time in college, I added even more of my friends to WiiHii, so we're looking at late end of 2015 through 2016, 2017, etc. Added even more of my friends that I met through college to the WiiHii team, and we began to play an even larger variety of games, and we even started some streaming. Overall, it never really got that big, but it was something fun for us to do. Despite how much fun we were having though, college and other commitments made running a Let's Play channel pretty difficult overall. And by 2019, it was getting really hard to keep up with. And since we graduated college in May of 2019, it wasn't that long after that we decided to close up shop on the channel. It had been a great time, but especially since getting together for recordings after college was pretty challenging, and there was a global pandemic like half a year later, most of us were ready to move on from it at that point. Plus, I was at that point working on making my volunteer content creation more of a serious gig. In early 2017, more opportunities opened up to me. Having attended the Nintendo Switch experience to try out the console for the very first time, I was invited to talk about my experience by the Source Gaming team. And then not long after, before the console itself launched, I was invited to join the team, writing articles and making videos. And I'll be honest, some of my earliest stuff was kind of rough. But I'm so glad that the Source Gaming team saw talent in me and kept me around. It was my first time really writing articles for games and making scripted video content for YouTube. But I gave it my all, and made it a whole learning experience. And I did all sorts of video features during my time there, including plenty of game reviews. But one of the most ambitious projects I did was in 2020, when Paper Mario: The Origami King was revealed. I put together a big analysis going over all the details. And that's because for years, way before I ever entered any sort of content creation, I had been inspired by the ones that GameXplain would put out, like for Mario Kart 8 and Breath of the Wild. And I was pretty proud of how this one turned out too. And as it turns out, that put me on the radar for GameXplain. And then in October of 2020, I was hired by GameXplain as a news and features editor for the channel. Now, I would be making news, reviews, and all sorts of video content as my full-time job. And the very first games I covered were pretty big to me. On my very first day on the job, I attended a digital preview event for the Crown Tundra DLC of Pokemon Sword and Shield, which was a pretty big first day, honestly. But the first big game I was really covering as soon as I got in was Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. And in addition to just loving this game as a whole, it being my first big project with GX means it holds a very special place in my heart. There were lots of ups and downs over the years, but ultimately, I'm proud of the work I did at GX for nearly 4 years, with analyses and super in-depth coverage of some games that will always stick with me. The return to form of Mario Party with Mario Party Superstars, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and how much I love that generation, the long cycle leading up to the release of The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, even getting to attend a preview event for the game and go to the launch at Nintendo New York, and all sorts of fun coverage upon that game releasing, and Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door, like tons of pre-release analyses and coverage, and all sorts of guides upon that game releasing. And of course, the Super Mario Bros. Movie, which was huge. Plus, some special features over the years, like bringing back Missing in Action and trying my hand at a new original series, Curiosity Shop. I definitely got to make a lot of fun video features over at GX, and I'll never regret the time that I actually spent over there. But unfortunately, in the summer of 2024, I was let go. Then that led to more personal endeavors as Toontress. Since I was let go from GX, I've started things up here on my own channel. And since it all kicked off back in around August, September, I'm really proud of how far I've come. I went to PAX West for the first time, I covered the launch of a brand new return to form Mario Party with Super Mario Party Jamboree, including hosting a whole series dedicated to it, featuring a ton of other content creators in the Mario Party Championship. I covered the return of the Mario and Luigi series with Brothership, and I've been covering Mario Kart World extensively, including with my longest ever analysis. And since we just hit 4,000 subscribers, there's definitely going to be a lot more. But there's a bit more I want to mention here too, in smaller little sections. Since early 2024, I've been running a Doctor Who podcast, Genesis of the Doctor, alongside my good friend Joy Content, and we've been going through the classic 60 years of Doctor Who. It's been pretty fun, honestly, and getting to experience so much of a series that I adore deeply has been a really good journey. And then since earlier this year, I've joined the Zeldathon staff as the Creative Forge lead. I've been overseeing the art, design, videos, and merchandise aspects to everything, and it's been really cool so far. And I've been hard at work to help make sure Zeldathon Voyage is a great charity marathon event in June, so make sure to tune into that. And of course, I also just want to mention, back in 2023, I participated in Nintendo's North American Open in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe at PAX East, and I placed 3rd, which got me a spot to participate in their Championship Cup the next day. It's not really a step in content creation, however, it's an incredibly memorable experience to me from the past 10 years that meant the worlds to me. And it's what motivates me to improve in Mario Kart. So with Mario Kart World, I'm definitely going to be trying to get into the competitive scene, and I'm sure I'm going to have streams and all sorts of content about that here on my channel as well. The past 10 years have been wild, and my journey through content creation is one that I honestly never expected. Any step of it, in fact. But I'm happy for all the opportunities that I've had over the years, and I'm really looking forward to the ones ahead of me. It's just wild to look back and see how much has happened simply because freshly 18-year-old Triss wanted a reason to keep in contact with close friends and start a new hobby. But with that, thank you all so much for watching this more personal video of mine. Reaching 4,000 subscribers is really exciting, and I hope to climb to even more heights with my future content. So if you enjoyed, please make sure to leave a like, comment down below, and of course, subscribe for plenty more gaming goodness from me. I'm going to be going to PAX East soon, and I'm likely going to have videos from it. Plus, of course, I have plenty more coverage planned from Mario Kart World. But until next time, farewell everyone. Special thanks to my channel members at the Co-Star Luma tier: Azure Pip, Thales Caesar, GameXplain, and Kiss My Flapjack.